The 7 finalists in the annual statewide Idaho Farm Bureau speech contest gathered at the Statehouse today for the final round of competition. Senator Jim Rice welcomed the contestants by pointing out the value of being able to stand and speak before a crowd of people.
This is a great opportunity, and it is something, these are skills that actually take you places.
Kaitlin Mirkin of Jerome was the winner.
Heading into the farm supply store to pick up more pig feed, I climb into my 1992 Chevy pickup truck. A Cadillac in my eyes, a beat-up farm truck to many. I place my key into the ignition and attempt to start the engine. I turn the key forward once, twice, 3 times with no luck. I decide to have a look under the hood. Overwhelmed by all the parts of this engine, I come to a harsh realization. An engine is much more complex than it appears on the outside. Most people can identify an engine, yet its function can be difficult to explain. This common yet complex theory relates closely to Idaho agriculture. In many ways, the function of an engine and the function of Idaho agriculture are similar. Just as the engine is the driving force behind a farm truck, car, or tractor, agriculture is the engine that pulls Idaho's economy. Agriculture does so much more than just provide us with food. In 2015, the amount of agricultural products produced in Idaho came to a collective total of over $7 billion. Based on the current price of a 50-pound sack of pig feed, this would be enough money to feed over 641,000 pigs for 10 years, or all 40,000 pigs in Idaho and Washington for almost 17 times as long. Although Idaho may not be high-ranking in the swine industry, with our 600,000 dairy cattle, 500,000 beef cattle, 250,000 sheep, and 5,000 goats, Idaho's livestock industry accounts for 62% of the revenue generated by agriculture. Over 25,000 farms and ranches contribute to Idaho's economy each year, accounting for over 20% of the gross state product. Idaho is the top potato producer in the nation, accounting for over 32%. Idaho also ranks first in trout production, third in milk and cheese production, and in the top 10 for nearly 30 other commodities. Agriculturalists in Idaho produce over 185 different commodities each year. No matter how you look at it, agriculture is a huge part of our economy. When we talk about Idaho agriculture, the stereotypical setting is in a field of blooming russet potatoes, or a milk barn surrounded by black and white Holstein cows. And although these clearly are important pictures of Idaho agriculture, let us take a look into an Idaho high school classroom. Just as the spark plug begins the combustion process to power an engine, Idaho ag teachers inspire students to become future agriculturalists and the future economic leaders of our state. Teachers influence students at a critical point when they are about to decide what they want to do for the rest of their lives. Idaho agriculture cannot function without workers to fuel it, and just as my ag teachers have influenced me, Idaho's 144 ag teachers ignite the charge in helping to create future workers for Idaho agriculture. Much like the dents in my old pickup truck, one of the areas of agriculture that is too often overlooked are the manufacturing companies. They perform a function similar to engine valves. According to the National Association of Manufacturers, Idaho produced over $1.6 million worth of food and beverage products in 2012. This was not including additional wood products, paper products, chemical products, or fabricated metal products. Manufacturing companies are able to bring in a limited amount of raw materials and send out a variety of consumer products, just as the engine valves are able to open and close to let in fuel and let out exhaust. Many Idaho consumers are familiar with farmers and ranchers, many of whom are seen driving down rural roads in beat-up pickup trucks just like me. They perform a function similar to the pistons, which are constantly moving up and down inside the engine cylinder. These agriculturalists work long hours on their operation to produce raw materials for consumer products. Idaho farmers and ranchers have created a vast international market that contributes largely to our economy. In 2015, the amount of agricultural exports sent from Idaho were valued at over $1.8 million, with the top industries being dairy, beef, wheat, and processed vegetables. Just as the pistons are constantly moving up and down to ensure proper functioning of an engine, Idaho farmers and ranchers are always on the move to produce raw materials, both internationally and domestically, to stimulate our economy. No engine is complete without the crankshaft. The function is simply to turn the pistons up and down. Much like the crankshaft, consumers are an essential part of Idaho agriculture. In 2014, the average Idaho household spent around $6,600, or close to $2,640 per person on food alone. With over 1.6 million people in Idaho buying agriculture-related products, consumers contribute over $4.4 billion into the economy annually by just buying food. No matter how large our international market, Idaho agriculture could not succeed without the support of local consumers. Idaho agriculture is made up of many well-oiled parts, all of which come together to contribute to our state's economy. Ag teachers inspire students to become involved in agriculture. Manufacturing companies bring in raw materials and send out consumer products. Farmers and ranchers are always on the move to produce these raw materials, and consumers support agriculture by starting the whole process over again. All of these moving parts come together to keep our state moving forward, just as the parts of an engine propel my Chevy truck. As complex as Idaho agriculture is, we all see it in different ways. For some, it's our prized possession. For others, it's merely a way of getting food. An Idaho with no agriculture is like a car with no engine. Agriculture is the engine that pulls Idaho's economy.
With the Idaho Farm Bureau, the voice of Idaho agriculture, I'm Steve Ritter.